All right, guys, let me upset some people, especially those who profess the desire to go back to their root. I am going to upset you right now because you know why you are going to get upset in what I'm trying to say, because I understand how emotional you get. I understand how, it is for you to discover what is happening to you, but it is important for also you to discover exactly the solution and the history behind what has happened to you. Now, first of all, are you aware that it is our ancestors, it is Africans that started the act of slavery? Among ourselves, Africa started the act of slavery. Let me tell you how and why. Because I want you to understand, if you go back to the antecedent of the world, or if you go back to the history of the world, you will understand that every civilization, everything was began from the cradle of humankind, which is Africa, the land of Eden, the land of Akebulin, because all of them boils down to the land of Eden. Now, let me also make it clear that it is Africa that started the thing called slavery. That is the reason why you see many people see all these places in the Bible which supported slavery, which talked about slavery. They even quote it out of context because they are emotional and they are not even willing to hear the truth, because I want you to understand how essential it is for you to know history before you actually go into the future. Now, let me clear it up. Africa started everything good. Africa started everything, bad. Everything that is actually been, that is happening in this world began in Africa, the cradle of humankind. I want you to understand that what you are seeing that is not slavery in Africa, I want to now shock you that it is slavery. And that is how the Europeans were able to find these things. They refined it. They actually saw our strength. They saw our weaknesses. They saw where we are actually having loopholes. They capitalize on it and they make use of it, and they use it against us, coming back to us. I want you to understand that all these passages you see in the Bible about slavery, I want you to know that it was our ancestors that was recording those things. Now, let me tell you how. Are you aware that when you actually pick up a child in the name of maid, and this child is working hard, doing all the house chores in your home, and you are not paying them, there is no remuneration, there is no appreciation going to that child, it is called slavery. Are you aware of that? And that is prevalent in Africa, mostly in the West Africa. I want you to understand that if you look around you, those who will pick up somebody and they begin to work under them without getting paid for the number of years, it is called slavery. And that is the type of slavery the Bible refers to. And when people read it today, they will tell you, no, Bible is a slave book. It is a slave book. No, there was a good slave. There was a good slavery. And that is exactly the slavery that I have just introduced to you. Especially when people go on apprenticeship. It is actually a slave, because you will work with somebody for 7 years without getting paid. At the end of the day, they will now, give you their appreciation or remuneration. Now, it is also called slavery. When you pick up somebody's child and you decide to stay with them, they will fetch water for you. They will wash the plate for you. They will go to market for you. They will do everything, all the house chores for you. You are not paying them. It is called slavery. Now, another slavery that our ancestors in Africa practiced was a slave whereby when there is a poor household, when there is a foreigners, or you call them aliens, when they are around and they saw that they cannot afford their lifestyle, they saw somebody who is actually well doing for themselves, they will decide to say, now, this is my child. I don't have money to train this child. I want you to actually buy this child from me because I know you are going to take care of this child. This is what was actually, refined, and we call it adoption today. You are adopting a child when you want to speak it in a good English. And when you speak it in that English, it sounds so differently. So you will give that child to this family, to this household that will take care of the child. They will pay you. And that child belongs to them. even though they call that child that it is now their own. Some people may call it is their property, but they call that child their own because they bought that child. The same way you go out there and adopt a child, are you not buying the child? Are you not paying money to adopt the child? So that is also a form of buying somebody as a slave. Now you should understand that everything good started from the cradle of humankind. So when we come to this topic, you shouldn't get emotional. You shouldn't get, upset, because this is the realities of our lives. We don't know where it began. We will know. There is likelihood that we are not going to know where it is going to end. So it is in Africa that all this thing began. Everything that is good and bad that you see in the world began from Africa. So now when the European came, they saw now that issue, that thing of slavery. They saw now how you will be able to get somebody to work for you without them getting paid until so they now modified it. The same way they modified the teaching of our ancestors, the teaching of our ancestors, which was actually documented in a manuscript, in a scroll that was copied into the book called Bible. Now, it was actually the teaching that they have actually taken away from, they took it away, they brought it back to us, refining it as a business and bring it into Christianity doctrine. Now, I want you to understand that everything good began in Africa. Everything bad began in Africa. And whatever they have actually capitalized on, it is the bad things, and they use it and they brought it back against us. And that is why we have found ourselves in this mess together. I am actually telling you the history that is found in the Bible. If you do not know exactly, or you don't understand, you go and do your research. Don't come and tell me, no, Bible is a slave book, is a white man's book, and this and that. Disputing my own, information that I have extracted from this book. A book that exists. You are disputing it with no fact. You are disputing it with even, there is no proof of your disputing my, presentation. You don't have proof. As long as you don't have proof, what you are disputing is you are actually being ignorant. Because if you want to dispute what is written, you will bring exactly evidence of what you are going to use to dispute it. It is not about how you feel. It is about facts. It is about history. And history is very important in our journey to freedom, in our journey to emancipation, in our journey to free ourselves from mental slavery. Because that slavery that they found with us, they actually refined it against us. They actually created it in different ways. Mental slavery, physical slavery, physical and torturing, which is the physical slavery. And that mental slavery is what we are going through today. And that's why we are trying to decolonize, and we are trying to free our mind and emancipate our mind, because none but ourselves that can free our mind. Just thank God, thanks to our Rastafari, Bob Marley. So I am going to leave it here. Meditate on it. Get angry, but solve the equation, and you will get to where I am going. I wish that TikTok will allow me to come live. I don't know why they are not allowing me to come live, so that I will break these things down, even get where it is written in the Bible. I want you to know Africa is the beginning of civilization. Africa is the beginning of civilization, none else. Africa is one, Africa is two. Then European came and they make themselves to present to you as if they are one and two. But they are not. It is time for us to rise up and correct the mistakes and go back to our root. And while we are going back to our root, we must know where this root is located.